Ukraine worried, as Russia might launch an attack on Kherson with 300 boats. It's day 1171 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. As per Russia's announcement of Victory Day ceasefire, they have stayed true to their word and have not launched any strikes on Ukraine. This was confirmed as complete silence was reported in the Ukrainian sky by Ukrainian sources. However, according to the latest reports, fighting has not stopped in several areas of the front. Among them, one of the most active fronts was Ukraine's second offensive in Kursk. As we saw in our previous report, how Ukraine launched an offensive on Kursk a second time. But unfortunately for them, this offensive quickly started resembling their infamous offensive of the south. This is due to the fact that Russian forces are already prepared. However, Ukraine really wanted to recreate their initial success of Zaporizhzhia offensive. As I explained to you previously, how they chose this overextended area, so that they could attack Russian positions from all sides. In addition, also open a couple more axes, to limit the Russian movements by destroying or taking control of the key areas. In fact, they apparently deployed the same units that initially breached the Zaporizhzhia borders. However, this is not 100% confirmed, as almost all Ukrainian sources are completely silent about this offensive. Even after complete failure, they have not given up. Russian sources are expecting intensity to increase, as Ukraine has gathered strong grouping on this section. Even during the ceasefire, they have been attacking non-stop in every single axis. However, Russian paratroopers are doing incredible work, and have not let Ukraine find any success. Particularly in Tetkino and Novyiput, they have repelled several column attacks of Ukrainian forces. In fact, they recently shared several footage of them repelling the attacks. In one of the footage, we can see them targeting a Ukrainian assault unit, while in another we can see them destroying Ukrainian equipment that managed to get near the village. However, after constantly attacking, Ukrainian forces were able to capture a couple of houses right at the border. This was indirectly confirmed, as we saw Russian aviation dropping FAB directly on the houses. But I consider it a gray zone, as fighting is taking place and no consolidation has been confirmed. Now, with each passing hour, Ukraine's success window is closing. Remember, this is post-Zaporizhzhia. Russia already has several brigades in Kursk. If Ukraine fails to develop significant progress in the coming days, they might pay a heavy price. Now we are getting interesting news about Russia's plan from the Ukrainian side. Apparently, an instructor from one of the Ukraine special units in an interview claimed, Russia wants to open a new front in Kherson. For this, they will perform landing operations in a couple of areas with 300 boats. According to him, Russian forces have already started preparing for the attack, as artillery and several other equipments were recently deployed. In my opinion, the only reason Russia would consider attacking Kherson right now would be to pin down Ukrainian forces. Because performing this type of complex operation will require large resources, which Russia could use at other important fronts. Even if Russia managed to create the bridgehead, maintaining it would be very costly. So I think we might see a couple of DRGs, but not a full-scale operation. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.